Gen Z grew up being told we'd be the healthy generation. No cigarettes, less alcohol, more awareness. We still ended up addicted to 5 different things at the same time. These are our worst addictions. The Gen Z nicotine pipeline is a beautiful feat of marketing in a horrible sort of way. It started with vapes. You'd walk into any school bathroom and hit a wall of watermelon ice fog so thick you needed a compass. Entire friend groups huddled around a elf bar like it was a campfire. Vapes were originally for people trying to quit smoking. Gen Z looked at that and said, sick flavors, and used it to start. Then came Zin. No smoke, no smell, just you, a little white pouch, and your gums slowly receding into your skull. These things escaped the Nordics, and now they're everywhere. The guy who told everyone he started Zins to quit vaping, now is just addicted to those instead. Classic. In the military, nicotine was basically a second currency. 10 out of 12 people in my room were on something. In the field, guys were paying absolutely ridiculous money for a single tin. Now, cigarettes are making a comeback, because apparently they look cool. We spent 20 years being told smoking kills you, invented a bunch of alternatives, and then decided to go back to the original anyway. So, Gooning. The internet gave an entire generation free access to basically everything humanity has ever made. And a significant portion of us looked at that and decided to goon. You start completely normal, then the algorithm gets involved. Its only job is to keep you engaged, so it pushes you a little further than yesterday. 6 months later, you've got a search history that would genuinely worry a therapist, and you have no idea how you got there. It was never one decision, just 1,000 small ones that each felt like nothing. The normalization of it is what actually gets me though, because it didn't stay in the incognito browser, it leaked into everything else. The femboy psyop, the furry pipeline, started as ironic memes. For at least half the people watching this stuff, it stopped being just a joke bro a while ago. We had access to the entire library of human knowledge. We used it for this. Anyway, energy drinks. Gen Z does not drink water. We drink branded stimulants with aesthetics and call it hydration. And it started young, like embarrassingly young. 7, 10, 12. If you get headaches when you skip your morning can, that's not a personality trait. That's withdrawal. You're chemically dependent on a drink with a Monster Claw logo, and you started before you had a bus pass. The peak example is the Nokko girl. Perfectly manicured nails, handbag over the shoulder, walking into school like it's a fashion accessory. At some point, it stopped being a drink and became a whole identity. And then there was Prime, KSI and Logan Paul, 2 people who probably shouldn't be allowed to sell any beverages, released a drink. And kids were trading bottles like Pokemon cards. The world briefly went completely insane. That wasn't an accident, that was business. The drink was almost irrelevant. I mean, it tasted like ass. The craving was the product. I don't really drink energy drinks, but I did bring Red Bulls to my matriculation exams and to particularly rough military camps. Cracking open a lukewarm Red Bull at 5 AM felt like the best thing in a horrible world. Your body is not a Formula 1 car. You can't just keep adding fuel and expect better performance. Eventually, something goes wrong at high speed. Gen Z has a shorter attention span than a goldfish. 8 seconds. Probably oversimplified, but also most people who clicked on this video are already gone. The scroll never feels like a problem. You're just checking things. You open your phone to check the time, and 45 minutes later you're watching someone rate gas station sushi from a country you've never been to. You didn't decide that, it just happened. That's not an accident. TikTok, Reels, Shorts, same machine, built by some of the best paid engineers alive, whose only job is to make sure you don't stop. In the military, I assumed losing phone access would be one of the hardest adjustments. It wasn't even close. Turns out I wasn't addicted to the content, just the physical habit of holding something itself. That's easy to replace. I would go weeks with no phone. Most people couldn't say the same. I watched a guy check Snapchat on guard duty once. Freezing cold, 3 AM, battery on 4% in the middle of the woods. He got it open, saw nothing important and put it away. Didn't even get anything out of it, just needed to check. That's not a habit anymore. That's a reflex you no longer control. But here's the part that actually baffles me. Being offline is now socially weird. You're not just addicted to the feed, you're socially punished for leaving it. It's a slot machine in your pocket, and you keep winning just enough to never stop. How many of you opened Pokemon packs as a kid? CS cases? Yeah, that was gambling. We just didn't call it that because there was a cartoon on the front. When you open a pack and get something good, your brain releases dopamine. The rush isn't the reward, it's the not knowing. Then you turn 18, download a betting app, and your brain doesn't see a financial product, it sees a FIFA pack. It already knows exactly how this feels. That's not an accident, that's the pipeline. Now you're watching a football match, live, happening in front of you. And there are ads during the game selling you the ability to bet on the next throw-in. Not the result, the throw-in. I knew a guy in the military who made 4,000 euros in a single week. You'd hear him from across the room, yelling, celebrating, pulling other people in to watch. He got half the room placing bets by day 3, but he'd already lost way more than 4,000 euros before that week, and he lost way more after. That's the trap. People remember the wins. The betting company remembers the total. Gambling is the only thing on this list that leaves no physical trace. No smell, no hangover, no symptoms. You just lose money, 10 opportunities, 10 relationships. And by the time anyone around you notices, the damage is already done. The reason none of this feels like addiction is because it wasn't supposed to. Every single thing in this video has a $1 billion industry behind it. The flavors, the free bets, the algorithm, the escalation. None of it is accidental. There are people whose entire job is to make sure you don't stop, and they are very good at it. You are not weak for being affected by that. Knowing something is a trap and stepping out of it are two completely different skills. That's what my other videos are for, if you want to go further. And if any of this described you, which, based on the watch time, it probably did, subscribe.